Sereme, and I've been in business for a long time. And as you know, whenever you start, you cannot just call yourself an entrepreneur, because remember, back in the days, the word entrepreneur was not that fashionable like it is now, that everybody's calling themselves an entrepreneur. So I've paid my fair share. I've been in various hustling. I've done a lot of businesses. I started at the age of 12 doing mobile food and veg, and 15 years I was already a photographer. You know, photography was an in thing back then, and I used to take pictures. I used to be booked in parties, wedding ceremonies. So that was a business that I did for a very long time. I remember even in high school I was taking photos. Then post high school level, I was doing modeling agency. Yeah, true. I ran a modeling agency. Yeah, I did it couple guys, and they came on board to help me. I know Easy was one of them, Boris was one of them. We did Miss Primary Schools, Miss and Mr. Primary Schools, we did Miss and Mr. High School. So yeah, it used to be one of the things, but it was not commercially viable. And we shifted I've shifted from that. Then I went to, hey, I don't know if I should tell this story. I looked for a job. I went to some salon, credit to a guy called Junior. I went there. I worked Heads and Faces. Yeah, I think it was Heads and Faces. I worked as a cleaner. I used to wash the towels and stuff, and watching guys doing the hairs and stuff. And I developed a love for hairdressing, and boom, jiggy, I was a hairdresser. And I think I did the hair about 1 year. Yeah, I think about 1 year, and I went away and started my own hair salon, and it became one of the biggest hair salons in town. So I paid my dues. I had a fair share of being that small guy, trying this and trying that. I used to own one of the biggest internet cafes in my town, Mafeking, and guys, you know, it was a great thing. You know, when you start, when you try everything to become the guy in terms of running a business, and you like, challenges are there, but I'm trying my best to do that. And this fancy business language were not there. It was all about doing what you can do, give the service that you can do, sell the product that you can sell, make money, and go home. So that's basically what I used to do. Writing. I wrote my first book called Storms of Life. Yeah. Why Storms of Life? When you grow up, there are so many challenges that you cannot just figure out why these challenges. So I was sitting there and I realized, dude, you've been through a lot before you came to where you are now. You've done a lot of things. You've been rejected and a lot of things. So that is where this Storms of Life came from. And Storms of Life was all about the pains, the rejections that we go through, and how best we can move away from them. Because a lot of us, we sit in this corner of sorrows, corner of tears, and we don't move away. We're waiting for somebody to come and bail us. We're waiting for this angel who's going to pick us out of the mess. But only to find out that the angel that you are waiting for, the guardian that you are waiting for, it's you. It takes you and your mindset to remove yourself from the entire mess that you find yourself in. So that's when I went to writing. But when I recall, because these are the things that we don't realize. That is why I hate this question that what do you want to be when you grow up? Because a lot of time, this is what you ask the kids at school. What do you want to be when you grow up at primary stage? Kids are still trying to figure out the best that they are inside them to unleash who they are, and you are already asking them this stupid question, as I call it, that what you want to be when you grow up. Because what you're basically saying when you ask a kid that question, you're saying you need to be something that is not in you, and you must now forget about that person that is in you, the true you, who you really are. You need to forget about and pursue something that you are not. That is why a lot of us will lie. I want to be a policeman, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher. We knew, we were just answering because the question was already there and asked by a teacher, and we respected our teachers then. So I remember I used to just write small stories, just a rough draft, tell guys, my friends, and then give the story to them, and they will laugh, say, what man, how did you think about this? So that is where I started my writing. So, but professionally, I published my first book. This is many years ago. I can't even remember when was that. Then it was called Storms of Life. The second book, it was called SMME Deja Vu. Why SMME Deja Vu? During my trials and error as a business person, I realized it's not easy. And the minute you get a certain value of money, you think automatically how I'm going to become a rich guy, I'm going to make it, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire because I've got 20 grand in my bank account, I've got 100 grand. So I remember I got a job and it gave me around 170,000 rands, and from there I established a lot of things and money was pumping in. There was a time when I looked at my account, I had about 470 something thousand rands. That translates to about $29,000 or $32,000. So you can imagine, you already see yourself as growing immediately and becoming a multimillionaire. Guess what? Within few months, I think 10 months, 11 months, I already had minus in my bank account. Banks were calling me, were sending me emails, can you correct your account? So those are the things that we go through, and we don't get necessary teachings. That is why I always tell people, things that are known now, I wish I knew them back then. But the truth is, you grow based on what you are exposed to. So some of the information, some of the knowledge, some of the education, some of the understanding, you learn them along the way. So that is how I became an author. So SMME Deja Vu was more like the troubles that small businesses go through and how they can avoid it, because it's a deja vu. You think you have arrived only to realize, oh, that was a deja vu, I'm not yet there, I still have to work hard. Okay, no, the most talked about, it's my latest book. It's called Startup Talk in Africa. After doing a lot of jobs, a lot of speaking, a lot of training across the continent, meeting many different small businesses, entrepreneurs, startups, and I realized this thing called business and entrepreneurship, we're doing it the wrong way. So we need nuggets, we need a master class that can reshape our thinking in terms of how we need to do our business. And that is when I came up with this book called Startup Talk in Africa, because here I'm just giving nuggets of how to survive Africa, how to set up a business in Africa, and how to thrive as an entrepreneur in Africa, and how to become the startup in Africa. So the book talks more about that. So, and this is one of the greatest books that I wrote, and I promise you it's going to be a bestseller like my previous books. Fortunately, my previous book has always been best-selling, but I believe this one is going to be more of sales to it. So yeah, those are my 3 books, and then I've got 3 books that are on a pipeline that are going to be released in 2022. I'm releasing already. They are busy with editing, and I'll be doing proofreading very soon. It's called Hybrid High Performance Culture for Corporate and Startups and Other Organizations. So it will be released very soon. It talks more about organizational development. I'm talking about my own metrics, my own models. Like I said, I'm creating my own models. Most of the things that I write about, most of the things that I teach about, these are self-taught. This is my 18 years journey in terms of coaching, speaking, and training. I've learned to bring my own model. So in hybrid performance, I talk about corporate tennis corporate mantra and soccer corporate mantra. How can you differentiate between teamwork and individual work? So that is the book that is coming. I know 2022 latest, either November or early 2023, I'll be releasing my other book called how to do a business in SADC, because remember, when you grow, guys, you start realizing that it's not all about where you are, it's about where you want to go. So my brain has gone into Africa, and I realized during my my transition into the continent, I forgot that there's what we call a region called SADC, because a lot of time we tell people the minute you start your business, solve your local problems, where you're coming from, the community that you come from as a business person, and you grow to your local community, meaning your local municipality, then you now graduate to your district municipality. Then after that, then you can start going into your province, and then when you're done supplying solutions in your province, then you can start going national, your country. But now when you're done with your country, you start going to the region, which is your SADC or your East Africa or your West Africa. Then when you're done in your region, that is when you start thinking now your continent and ultimately the entire world. But even if the global environment, you don't just say I'm going global. You need to choose, I'm going Asia, I'm going America, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to South America. So you need to know where exactly is your product or service going to be needed. So those are the things that I realized later on, that I need now to give my region, which is Southern African region, an attention. That is why we came up with an idea called Startup SADC, because we are now more into SADC. So opportunities that are available in SADC, why can we invest in SADC, and the funding that we need in this region. So that is more of the book, How to Do Business in SADC. So that's basically my authoring part. Yeah, the investment. I'm not that big, guys, when it comes to investment. I'm still at elementary stage. I'm investing in small and micro startups, and I'm investing a very little amount. I'm talking about $5,000, $2,000, $1,000. So I'm still going, but where there's an appetite, I go as far as $10,000, and it has been a good opportunity for me. So I really love that part. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are coming on board as growth. And there's a question I don't really like. Growth, yeah, I've done a lot. That is why I tell people, I started calling myself entrepreneur after 13 years in the game, because I was starting now to solve the problems that are existing. I designed a game called Startup Wines. You can play the game with your friends, with your family, with your kids. It will teach you how business is done. So basically, it's a game that gives awareness, that capacitates raw and business people into becoming entrepreneurs, aspiring business people. It teaches you the ins, the do's, the don'ts, the pros and cons of being a business person and an entrepreneur. And I'm launching my brand this year, Deja-Vu brand. It's tie, it's timepiece, the watches. It's a lot of various things, but my timepiece will be coming very soon. I'll be launching my timepiece, and I'm very excited about it. Guys, look at Deja-Vu timepiece. They are coming. I'm excited. Basically, I'm excited. I've done a lot of things. I'm creating a models and metrics, and I'm still looking at the best software developer to now start doing my own SaaS, my own software systems and tools that can now many coaches and many consultants can start using. So basically, that's the growth that I'm talking about. Yes, I would love to do a lot of Europe, because I've done Europe, but I'm still working on my brand to start doing much in Europe, Asia, and America. So I'm talking with a few guys now in America, California. Maybe this year, before end of this year, we'll be doing an investment seminar there to start taking the brand to now the global communities. So that's basically me in a nutshell. Okay, enterprise development. Yeah, I've done enterprise development for my company. Accuracy Group is doing enterprise development for various companies. Currently, we're doing Impala. Yeah, those are what the biggest clients that we have in the pool. We've got 2 that we are about to sign. Yeah, we're doing few outside the country. So there's a lot of things that are coming in the pipeline. I'm excited. I'm really excited, and I can't say thank you enough to my team, because all of these things is a teamwork. The team that I have they push me, they make sure that things has to be done, we need the results. At the end of the year, when we calculate our revenue, we should now realize the growth. So it's a teamwork. I have to give credit to teamwork. I won't say scaling now, but we're growing exponentially. I mean, when you look at our trend, we're already at 3 or 4 times, 4x, and we're going there. In the second part of the year, the second semester, we'll be talking 5, 6x. So we really going there. My last message will be networking. Guys, I've been a fool too, and it's a good thing to be that fool, that you believe that you need connections so that you can grow fast. Unfortunately, when you talk business, you're still gonna go back to learn and to correct the mistakes, because once you are a business person, you do a lot of mistakes and then you skip them thinking you are going to go and overnight success. It doesn't work like that. You're going to go through the process, and when you go through the process, you're going to now leave the profits mentality, go through the process. Now, after doing the process, now profits comes. That is why we tell you that at least build your business for the next 5 years. After 5 years, then you can start talking long term now to say, these are the profits that I want. I mean, let's talk Nokia. What happened to Nokia? Nokia was the in thing. Boom, 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 boom. Then suddenly Nokia dropped, and guys like iPhone, BlackBerry were taking over, Samsung were taking over, Huawei were taking over. Now, where's Nokia is fighting to be part of the top 5 smartphones in the world. So those are the things that you look at to say, let me build my brand. And then the temptation when you start building of rising and become the best, the bigger kid in the room, it's always there. But let me tell you, you have to go through the process before the profits. Learn so that you can earn at the end of the day. So if I were to discourage people, I'll tell them, leave the connections mentality away. Build the networks. Within the networks, that is when you can start connecting. But build a pool of networks so that you become like your Vodacom, Safaricom, Globe, you become like your MTN, you become like Airtel. Now, when you have now this network providers that you are saying, for me to buy a SIM card of an Airtel, I am now fully reconfigured. I'm now fully networked within this network. Then you can start saying, where are the connections? Now you know the relevant SIM card that you can buy and start making phone calls, then start accessing the social media. So that's what I'm always telling people. Networking 101 is what we need to grow as individuals. Now, that's a topic that I love talking about, collaboration, because after networking, now you can start realizing the value of collaboration. Because let me tell you, Africa is not robbed as we think. Because in Africa, we lack the collaborating mindset. If we can start collaborating as individual experts, individual startups, individual entrepreneurs, start joining hands. A guy from Botswana can start working with a guy in Lesotho. A guy from Lesotho can start working with a guy in Namibia. A guy in Namibia can start working with a guy in Ghana. A guy in Ghana can start working with a guy in South Africa. A guy in South Africa can start working with a guy in Senegal. Then we can start now building a value chain for Africans. We can start building an ecosystem that is now concrete, that is solid, that now we can now close out the bigger guys who are controlling the system. Because remember, the bigger guys are collaborating. That is why it's easy for them that when a small guy is trying to raise up, they hit him, go down, or they cut the wings, and you cannot fly anymore. So if we can start collaborating, use our different strengths, our different opportunities, our different skills and capacities, then we can join and become one. Then Africa will rise. And I'm telling you, if there's anything that I believe in, is this continent. Africa is what it takes, and Africa will definitely rise. And there's nothing that we can do to stop Africa rise. There's only thing that we can do. If we divide them, then we can conquer them. But if Africans come together and unite and collaborate and work as a team, then we're going to take the world by storm. And believe me, the fourth industrial economy has taught us that things have changed. We are moving away from traditional way of doing things. We've seen with the COVID dividends, the COVID coronavirus, it has changed how business is being done in the world. So it doesn't only talk to the world, it also talks to Africa, because we are not immune as the continent. So if we want to rise, we need to start telling ourselves that we need to work together, because this is what the fourth industrial economy or fourth industrial revolution is talking is driving us. Yeah, lastly, I'll say to entrepreneurs, look at where the shift is going, because no more often we operate on what we are used to doing. We operate on the competition mentality, we operate on the price mentality, but the world is going solution based. So if you are not a solution oriented startup, it's going to be difficult for you to make it going forward. So you need to start now looking at where the world is going. So take the direction that the world is taking. So it's not wrong to become a profit oriented business, or already we start businesses because we want to make money. But the truth is, once you become solution-oriented enterprise, your lifespan is long and you're going to survive for a long time. So the most important time is to start to grow, to develop, to grow, and to sustain. So once you can go through the stages, then I'm telling you, and it's guaranteed, with the opportunities that we have in this continent, then you're going to make a kill and you're going to become one of the talked about startups, or one of the go-to startups. And that's the only thing that can save Africa. But I still believe that Africa will rise. Thank you very much for the opportunity.